It's not about motivation. Winners need discipline. Wake up and win today. Discipline comes from within.
Boxing King Media in association with the Riyadh season. Dave Coldwell, we're out here in Riyadh. You've just rocked up and you've brought the rain with you.
Rainy Riyadh. Can you believe that? The last time I was in Riyadh actually was the AJ Ruiz fight, the rematch, and it absolutely pissed it down. Come to the press conference here, and it's just been slamming it down. Now, hopefully, it was a quick shower, hopefully, and in time for the press conference to get kicked off, it stops.
Can I just tell you, the weather's been great all week. It's been a nice breeze. I don't know.
What are you saying? Well, I thought I was going to get over here and be able to top up my tan a little bit, but so far we've not seen any sun. It was a bit hazy and cloudy this morning. We arrived last night, and now it's raining. So yeah, so far not so good.
You got yourself a good job in the sense of being one of the main pundits on Sky for the pay-per-view, AJ and Ngannou. You obviously know AJ very well. How much do you know about Ngannou?
I'm not an MMA fan, so I'd heard of his name, but he only really came to prominence for me when, the build-up for the Fury fight, because obviously it was such a big spectacle and a lot, very controversial. It was against, what's happening? It's it's a bit of a freak show. So you want to have a look at who the guy is, and then obviously the fight, and then everything since then. That's what I know about Ngannou.
It's the funny thing, we're talking right now, but it's absolute chaos behind you. People are putting plastic bags on cameras on the press conference table. It's blurred out, so you can't really see, but it's mad. I've got to ask, you will have seen the media workout yesterday. A lot of the feedback from Ngannou is that it looks a lot more technically better. Does that kind of stuff make a difference? Did you notice anything?
Oh, it does make a difference, because obviously that means that, for his sake, hopefully he's eradicating a lot of the technicalities where he's making mistakes that he got away with, and improving what he was good at, because he performed really, really well. But defensively, I did feel as though he showed a lot of vulnerabilities, not in the chin department, in the fact that he can be got to if somebody was to commit with sharp feet, sharp punching. Little things like leaning back, opening yourself really wide open. For somebody like AJ to step in quick with that lead right hand, jab to the body, to the chest, the right hand to the top, it looked like there's a gap there. So you would expect him to, each camp that he has, each boxing session that he has, obviously he's going to become better as a fighter. So, pads are pads, but he did look better, a bit more tidier in his punching. I loved his body shots. I think that could be a key in the fight. But yeah, I mean, you expect him to be better. You expect him to be better as well, confidence-wise, because he's now done the 10 rounds. Does he, if he was to hurt AJ, would he sit back and allow him off the leash like he did with Fury? Not, with the Fury fight, he had doubts, perhaps, maybe thinking, well, I've never done more than 5 rounds. This is round 3. There's a long way to the finishing line. Whereas if he'd have done that maybe round 8, would he have gambled a little bit more? This time round, if he catches Anthony Joshua, maybe it's something that he regrets and thinks, I should have put my foot down. Maybe he trusts himself a little bit more to go with it a little bit more. But, looking at little clips of AJ, what we've seen, he looks very, very good himself. He looks very, very sharp. He looks sharp on his feet, his upper body movement. His shots just seem nice and sharp, but long, full range. He's getting the range on his power shots. So for me, it's an exciting fight. It really is.
I don't want to go too much into the detail about breakdowns, but as a percentage, how much a percentage of a chance are you giving Ngannou to cause the upset?
So I think Joshua wins, and I think the more I'm looking at Joshua and I'm seeing how he's delivering his punches, I don't see him as knocking him out with one shot, but I do think he stops Ngannou. But there's a big but on there. It's a big fat but, because I do believe that the range of Ngannou, the length of his arms, are going to, if Ngannou doesn't hesitate too much and he lets his jab go and he uses that leverage, I do feel as though the range of his arms and reach is going to give AJ a problem. Maybe not so much getting in, but getting out, and getting out unscathed. which is why perhaps he's going to have to exit low and stay disciplined with that in case Ngannou comes with that left up. And if Ngannou catches him it doesn't have to catch him clean. Catch him on the top of the head, damage his equilibrium goes, and his legs start going all over the place. Just has to be a split second, and then does he jump on him like a shark? There are those elements in the fight, because when you're dealing with a man that's got that much power, you can't just say black and white. MMA, he's had one fight, Fury overlooked him, AJ all day. You think, yes, he should do, with AJ's experience and the caliber of opponents that he's fought. The wins on his record means that he's an elite level fighter, so he should deal with him. But boxing's littered with fights where the favourites got beat. AJ himself against Ruiz, you're talking about Muhammad Ali against Leon Spinks. The only thing is, these fighters were fighters. The fighters that beat him were fighters, as in boxers. And Ngannou's had one fight. Ultimately, he's had one fight where he used a surprise package. So there should be nothing to say that Anthony Joshua and his team haven't got this right, and don't look at that footage and not be able to grasp how to beat him. But also, forget about that. It's Anthony Joshua is best mentally at his best, physically at his best, and putting on a good performance, going out there being confident and not doubting himself, you would imagine would deal with somebody that's had one fight. You would imagine. But Ngannou, I'm looking for everybody I've spoken to has been on about the size of this man. Yes, he's big, but it's the actual physicality of him and how cut he is at that sort of size. You just say he's just some huge monster. Makes AJ just look like actually he's not actually such a beast after all. So I can't wait to see him in the flesh myself, because you're that big. If he, we didn't really see it much with the Fury fight, but if AJ were to get caught in that trap, and if Ngannou can lean on him, bit of forearm and disrupt his rhythm, the strength and physicality of Ngannou could just lead to a shot where Ngannou can steal one on him. So there's a lot to like about the fight, in terms of there's that edge while you're watching it. Even if AJ is in complete control, there's that edge you don't know, because he's such a big puncher.
One aspect I want to speak to you about is obviously you talked about a lot there regarding AJ, but I saw Carl Froch, I know he's full of opinions at the moment, and he said in a video the other day that he still feels that AJ can be mentally weak, and he still is running that narrative. And I spoke to AJ early in the week, and I kind of put a different spin on it, that how can this man be mentally weak when I know from people within his team that he was advised not to take the Usyk fights. So if you're mentally weak, you're not going to fight a guy that your team's telling you not to fight.
It's not just about. It's not as black and white as mentally weak. I think that's harsh saying he's mentally weak, because there's so many different parts of the mentality in boxing. You could be mentally strong in the fact that you get up every morning and do extra. You get up every morning and you dedicate and you train. You do everything right. You live right, you eat right, you do everything right. That's a mental strength and takes a certain mental capacity. But then comes to the fight night, and you might have a few doubts with yourself where you put brakes on yourself. That's not mentally weak, but it's just a side of your mentality that's got a little bit of frailty. So I don't believe he's mentally weak, but do I think that he's got frailties to his mentality? Yes, because yes, he picked Usyk, but while he's going to fight Usyk, he's on his way, he's asking people their opinions and things like that, and everybody's got different facets to a mentality, and everybody's got a certain breaking. It's like when you talk about fighters quitting and things like that. Everybody's got a different pain threshold. Everybody's got a point where this man might go to the wall and put himself through broken jaws and carry on no problem, and then somebody else might get a bust nose and decide that's not for me, I can't breathe properly. Everybody's got different thresholds, and the same thing as mental capacity and toughness or being able to deal with certain things. People deal with them in different ways. Has he got weaknesses, or is he lacking certain things in certain parts of the mentality? I'd say yeah, but I won't call him mentally weak.
And I just want to move on to a couple of other subjects with you, Dave. Dillian Whyte, it's unclear what the full facts are, but Sky Sports released an article saying that the Texas Commission have cleared him. We've not had anything official from Dillian, and I think a lot of people's understanding he was under the Portuguese license, so it's quite a lot of unclarity. So what do you make of it all?
Mate, I'll be honest with you, I haven't got a clue. I know as much as what you did. Out of the blue came that report saying it is clear to fight, but then it comes with its Texas, and we all know certain states in America. There's states in America that let you box when you're legally blind. You know, I don't know. Without knowing all the ins and outs of it, it's difficult as fans or people that are working in the industry. If we don't know what the facts are, what it failed on, what the dosage was, what they've given to say, well, actually, it didn't. This is this. This is that. All you're told is, I think we saw it. It's contaminated. All we get is what that report is, and you either say, oh, okay, no problem, and forget it, or you think you call bullshit, and it's down to people's individual opinions. All I will say is, if it's contaminated, it's 3 times that he's unlucky, and it's 3 times that his career's been stolen on stuff, and it's just like, how does that happen? What is he taking supplement wise? I might be wrong, but I don't know if that was something to do with the last one. I can't even remember. But the fact that it's happened to him 3 times is like, I'd jack in taking supplements, and you've got all that money, get the best nutritionist in the world, that get as much nutrition as you can out of the foods, because the supplements that you're taking obviously are leaving you susceptible to failing drug tests.
That's a fair opinion, Dave. The last thing I want to speak to you about is Ryan Garcia. I don't know where to start other than I was just scanning through his Twitter. Funnily enough, he's actually live right now, just saying all sorts. I think his most recent tweets are, they auction kids off. I'm not crazy. It's the people that know I'm saying this are silent. They're the cowards and lazy ones. Something about Vegas is going to be destroyed from an earthquake, and so is LA because it's Sin City. There's loads.
I watched his press conference last week, and when I think it was the second press conference, they did 2, they did a double header, and his second press conference, and I couldn't believe how skitty he was, and I thought he's not right, and he needs to be pulled out of this fight. Since that press conference, the wheels have come off, or they seem to have come off, and I don't know whether, I don't want to lighten what's happening, but is he trying to play a game? But is he? I don't think he's trying to play a game to this extent. I don't think he's trying to play a game where he's making Haney underestimate him and think he's gone mentally, and he thinks it's an easy fight. I don't think he's playing that game. I kind of feel as though, is he? I'm hoping, because the alternative is really, really sad and really, really bad. I'm kind of hoping that he's playing a game where he gets pulled out because he's seemed as being unwell, and so then he can't fight because he doesn't really want the fight, and he feels though it's a way out. I hope it's that, because I would rather it be that and him actually being fine mentally than the alternative, which means that he is mentally really, really ill, and it's very, very worrying, because it's not just a little bit. It's like constant now. This constant feed of aliens and this and that, and it's everything that he's saying. He needs looking after, and it's not just he needs looking after. He needs a doctor seeing, And the thing is I believe in America. I mean, I might be wrong. In America, when people are acting like this, people can go and get them sectioned and things like that. So then I think, well, how has this not happened to him? Because it's obvious that there's something going on here. So how have the people? Because he's close to his family. So how has he not been taken? Like how is his phone not been taken away? So he's got no capability of going on social media and be taken to the hospital to be looked after. Because it's not like they can't afford care over there, because he's very, very wealthy. So somebody in his family, in his close family, would have done that. I may be wrong, but I would think that. So then that's maybe, well, is it part of what his grand scheme of plan is? I hope it is, because the stuff. But then again, to talk about kids and stuff like that, then I think, well, you wouldn't be playing a game if you're talking kids like that. So just thinking about that is, it's distressing, it's worrying. I mean, listen, this what he's talking about with the kids. We've heard things like that about the elites and things like that before, but then he kind of dilutes it by talking about aliens and stuff like that, and he's everywhere. So you can't just take one. Oh yeah, he's sane when he's talking there, but he's crazy when he's talking there. You kind of like can't dissect it like that, really. I just think it's really, really worrying, and it's not a good look. And I'll tell you what's not a good look is that while he's carrying on like this, the promoters are willing to put him to fight and carrying on selling the fight as though nothing's happened. There needs to be definition here of is he playing a game to try and pull out a fight? Is he playing a game to try and get Haney to take him lightly, or has he gone absolutely off the chart?
You know, last thing on that, Dave, do you think it's like a good, not example, but a good situation where the youth of today can see that all the money in the world don't really buy you happiness? Because that kid's very, very rich from YouTube, social media, and he's had, I think he said himself he's made 50-60 million in the last few years. That's a lot of money. So he's got F off money, basically, and he shows money don't buy you happiness.
Listen, and if money bought happiness, why are there so many rich businessmen that jump out of their office windows? Why are there so many people that kill themselves that have got, when you look at me, you go, what? He's successful. What? He's an athlete, he's an ex-athlete, is this? Money doesn't mean that you're going to be happy at all. And neither does fame. I mean, people chase, a lot of kids these days, they're trying to chase fame a lot, but there's no substance and no foundation to their life before they're reaching for the summit on a quick fix, and a lot of people, they're wanting this fame, they're wanting the big money, the flash watches and this great lifestyle, but everything that comes with it is pressure, because when you're in the limelight, you're getting slated, and you've got to be able to handle that, because otherwise it can absolutely destroy you. Listen, on our levels here, you're holding a microphone, I'm speaking into it. You get slated for some of the stuff that you put out. I get slated for stuff that I speak. People like you, people don't like you. You have to be able to handle both, because if you fall in love with the fact that everybody loves you, comments are great, then your ego goes out of control and you believe that you're unbeatable. And if you're getting crucified, then it crushes you. And if you can't handle it, it can ruin your life.
I think you summed it up. I think you've got to go, Dave. You're on your Sky broadcast. Thank you for your time, and thank you.
Nice one.
Listen, I got a question for you. Where can discipline take you? Discipline points you toward your goals.